Good evening, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Cunanan, and welcome to our second segment on fighting back against cancer. And joining us still are Hans Palacios, natural health advocate, and Dr. Ernest Francis G. Mora, psychiatrist and integrative medicine specialist. Welcome back, guys, to our second segment on alternative medicine and fighting against cancer. Now, we mentioned earlier before we broke for our pause, our station break, we talked about your batting average in the Bias Safe Center for Complementary Medicine. You said 2 out of 3, which roughly translates to about almost 70%. So that's very good. Let's talk about that center. What do you guys do exactly?
Bias Safe Center is a complementary medicine center wherein we try to prevent illness. We would like to strengthen the person. We believe that our body was really designed by God, that it should be able to heal itself. So what we do is we strengthen the person, we strengthen the body. So we don't treat the illness, we treat the person. We make the person strong so that in the end, he or she would be able to heal the disease by themselves. But if ever there's already a problem or an illness, we would always try to go for the root cause.
Yes.
What's making you develop symptoms, we address that. So we have different modalities. First, we have different diagnostic modalities. We have ARDK, BRI, quantum test. Then we have treatment modalities that are all natural. Chelation therapy, acupuncture, aromatherapy, music therapy,
yes.
So homeopathy.
So basically, your approach is really radically different from the conventional Western medical approach because, as you said, you guys treat, it's a systemic treatment of the problem, not just, as we mentioned in the first segment, the emphasis of Western medicine is really symptomatic or symptom-based approach. Okay, so let's talk about diagnosis. If a person comes to you, how do you guys diagnose this person's health? I mean, how can you tell this person has cancer or doesn't have cancer?
We have several diagnostic tools that would be really scanning your whole system. It's based on traditional Chinese medicine, wherein we're going to be looking at all of your organs. Because when treating persons, we treat the whole body.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just focus on an organ. Mm-hmm. So we have to know all the status of all the different organs, and we strengthen all of them. Unlike in Western medicine, if you have a heart problem, you go to a heart specialist. If you have lung problem, simultaneously with the heart problem, you will be referred to a lung specialist. In BioSafe, we treat the whole person. So our diagnostic modalities would focus on the entire body, and not just the physical body, but also the mental and emotional body.
So even there, excuse me, even there, your approach is so different. As in Western medicine, it's specialization, subspecialization. You guys, it's really a step back, you know? Not specialization, but back to general practitioner, really, in a way, no?
In a way, because I think that is one of the problems of medicine right now. It has become so specialized that each doctor would not be looking at the organ wherein they have been trained. So they forgot the whole person.
Yes, yes.
We forgot that all of these organs are also interconnected.
Yes, exactly.
So you can just imagine if you have 5 different doctors, these doctors just prescribing just one medicine, so you would end up having 5 different medications. And
yes.
These doctors really would not really talk to each other. So
well, they miss the forest for the trees. No, they see the trees, they don't see the forest.
And you can have a chemical reaction with all those medicines put together. That's why it's also very important to have a controller, like a general practitioner, who's aware that you're seeing a heart doctor, you're seeing a lung doctor, so he can control the medications that you have.
Kind of like a team captain.
Yes, that's important, isn't it? When you're fighting.
Of course, of course. Let's talk about technology. What kind of technology do you guys use to diagnose?
Most of our diagnostic tools are Russian-based technologies that has been based on traditional Chinese medicine.
Describe them. I mean, they're not here. Obviously, they're very big, and so you can't bring them to the studio. But describe what goes on. For example, in your primary equipment.
We have ARDK, where you will just be a probe would be assigned to the different acupuncture meridian points pertaining to different organs. Then there would already be a result. We have the BRI, wherein it would be scanning your brain waves. All of the memory of your cells are stored in the brain. So it will be scanning your brain waves, then pick up the different problems of your entire body. Then there would be a printout on the computer and would show you, there would be a number, index from 1 to 6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 would be within the normal range. 4, there would be already a problem, an infringement. 5 and 6 would already have a big problem.
So what you're saying is, just from the brain, you guys can tell, you can gauge a person's entire health status just from doing analysis of the brain, for instance.
It's profiling, yes, profiling.
Profiling.
But, the brain is like our CPU.
Yes.
So everything is stored there. So profiling, but then again, as in Western medicine, we do the basic. We do history taking and do physical examination.
Now you said these machines or this machine is Russian in origin.
Yes, sir.
Now is it widely used in Russia? This technology.
In Europe and in Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore.
How long has the BioSafe Center been operating?
9 years, 10 years.
Okay. Now, the people who come to your clinic, who should go and have... So, okay, what you're saying is that anyone can be screened. You don't have to be sick. You can be healthy and you can be screened. Hans, I think you have an experience with this.
Yeah, I've been screening for the last 7 years, ever since I met them. But more importantly, I've had experiences in the family where we did very well. I was telling you earlier, the son who had a problem, and he had this tick that came out every 15 seconds. We didn't know where it came from. He was able to, he used the quantum, because when you question the patient, you determine which type of modal diagnostic system you'll use. And he used quantum at that time. And first thing he asked me was, what happened to your wife during the second trimester of pregnancy? Then I recalled, yeah, she had chicken pox. Well, there it is. I mean, there's a virus in the central nervous system that's been dormant for the last 14 years. And within 10 days, doing Henny laser and using some natural remedies, they were able to remove that. I hated to imagine that for the rest of my son's life, he would be having this tick, where he jerks every 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So I was so glad because I know people for the last 20, 30 years who still have their ticks. My son's
10 days.
Yeah,
10 days gone until now. So he's fine.
He was already being unsociable. He didn't even, because people were teasing him already and all that in school. But I'm happy that they have this type of latest technology, which really is also predictive. Their equipment can tell you that you're predisposed to something. Oh, papantayin mo na to.
So you guys can tell, let's say, a person comes to you, you can identify which organs are not yet, not yet.
That's why there's a
hit,
rating system.
but kind of going in that direction.
Yeah.
And so you guys will then advise this person, this is what you have to do to prevent or to improve the status of your organ.
Yes.
Our advocacy really is more preventive medicine. It's always easier to treat a healthy person, make that person stay healthy so we could prevent illness. Because once illness has already developed, it would be taxing to the patient financially, physically, emotionally.
Let's talk about your cancer patients, those who have approached BioSafe, those with cancer, and you said majority of your patients are cancer patients. What happens usually when they come to your center?
Most of them, unfortunately, have already undergone surgery, chemotherapy.
So
and
they've gone
rejection.
through the entire gamut of Western prescribed treatments and procedures.
And after all of these procedures, they would still have recurrence of cancer. That's the time they would go to our centers. So we do the diagnostic tools. We change their lifestyle, change their eating habits. We ask them to exercise. Of course, we ask them to pray. Then we would always try to go for the root cause. If it's heavy metal toxicity, we remove the metal toxins. If it's emotional, we also address the emotional concerns.
You guys don't prescribe any medicine, no artificial chemical-based medicines?
Unless it's really necessary, unless if there's really a pain.
Okay, of course, pain, sure.
We can do pain
But
killers.
let's say chemo.
No, we
nothing
don't.
like that.
We don't do synthetic
Nothing.
chemicals.
So what you do is really a holistic approach. As you mentioned, you try to enhance the person's well-being. But what do you guys give the patients to make them stronger, to make them fight cancer, for instance?
In cancer, it's different modalities. First, you have to address the physical symptoms, remove the cause of the disease, strengthen the organs that have already been weakened, then try to make life flow easier. by removing the blockages to it.
How do you identify the source or the cause of the cancer?
The BRI, the quantum test,
Will tell you exactly,
Will tell you.
not just what kind of cancer the person has, but where it's coming from.
where it's coming
Really?
from.
Like, okay, for instance, someone with prostate cancer, if you went to you and you found out what could be the possible causes of this, as a sample.
Example, the one that Hans has been
Yeah.
telling me, prostate cancer, apparently had a emotional conflict with the father. So to treat that, you also have to treat the conflict with the father, because
Just that.
We have-
an emotional-based
in
source.
in psychology,
Yeah.
in psychology, you have this fear of castration, wherein you feel when
course.
we're peeing or see our father's organ, oh, it's larger, so you kind of fear that. How come it's larger? It's so
Okay.
menacing.
Okay.
So
What does that have to do with cancer?
if that has been retained to you and your father has treated you in a not so good manner, so that could predispose you, that could weaken you. So I've seen a lot, especially women with breast cancer, who have emotional attachment with their relatives. And when we addressed this, treatment of the cancer cells was facilitated.
Let's talk about success story. Tell us about the success story of your center, of a person with cancer that actually improved or went into remission or full remission.
We have several success stories already. And
Give us the most prominent one.
most prominent one would be a patient from Bicol.
Okay.
She had breast cancer, operation, chemotherapy, radiation. The cancer recurred. Not only recurred, but it spread to the liver, the colon, and the brain. When she came to us, she was in a wheelchair,
Stage 4 already.
stage 4 already,
Wow.
very thin,
Okay.
very irritable. I just want to die.
And then she went through the whole range of treatments already, I
Treatment
assume.
already.
No?
Right now, she goes to us alone. She's, I think, 74 years old.
Okay.
74 years old. She would go travel by plane alone. She's now very mobile. She attends church. That's why in their town, most of their townmates already are patients. Because once they see her again going to mass, going to the market, diba, by herself, oh, how come you're cured?
How long ago was this when she first came to you?
I think 2-3 years ago.
And how long did the other doctors give her? Because she said stage 4 and it spread to her brain, to her liver, to all this.
She was
how
given
long?
3 months.
She was given 3 months. And this is 3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
And how is she doing this? She said a lot of people in the town are your patients because they've seen living, walking, breathing, talking, dancing, maybe even example of BioSafe's products.
Yeah. And she's very active in the church, so most of her church members would see, oh, you can attend now again. And she's very active in the activities, so whenever they would approach her, how come you were treated? I'll go to BioSafe. So most of them would go to our center.
From 3 months to live, it's now 3 years and going.
Actually, I usually give her a card, parang death anniversary card. Oh, this is your 3rd year of that right now. So
That's a sick joke, huh? What do you call this? What did you guys do? What did you guys do for her? What did you give her? How did you bring her back from the edge?
First, we have to make her realize that she's sick, because she was very irritable right at that. After undergoing all this chemotherapy and radiation, she just wanted to die.
Okay.
So we have to fix her emotional her cognition that you still can live. Then we do chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy.
I'm sorry, hene therapy. It's laser therapy, wherein instead of IV fluid, laser would be incorporated in your blood.
To do what exactly?
To strengthen you.
Okay.
It would strengthen you, clean your system, improve your mitochondria. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Once the cell is strengthened, the whole body would be
Really,
strengthened.
detox and
Detox is very important.
Detox is so important.
Yes.
What was the cause of this lady's cancer? What was causing it?
Hormonal imbalance.
Hormone imbalance. Hans, it's strange because we've been talking about all these cases, and it seems like cancer is really on the upsurge. I mean, it really is going up and up. And as you said before, 1 in 80,000. Now, all of us know someone who's passed away from cancer. When I was growing up, cancer was some sort of bar. Growing up, cancer was like something that someone got, that a friend got. But now, what's causing this cancer?
Well, because the environment is ripe for it. We live with all the toxins from the radiation, from the cell phones, computers, Wi-Fi, all of that. Then the everyday things that we take, the fluoride. Number one, fluoride. We brush our teeth with fluoride. Fluoride is good, they said. It's good for the teeth. But there are two types of fluoride. They don't tell you that the fluoride that's bad, the sodium fluoride, is the one that's in your toothpaste. The calcium fluoride, the one that's supposed to be good, is not there. But why do they use that? Because in the canning industry, when fluoride was invented, it was a byproduct that needed to be disposed of. And they couldn't dispose of it because it was in such magnitude. So they decided, oh, fluoride. We're not going to tell them what we have is sodium, so we're going to put that in.
Yeah.
See? So we're now selling, everybody's brushing with it. It's being put in water. 13 countries in Europe ban fluoride.
Okay. But yet it's found in almost all of our toothpaste.
And everything. See, I haven't used fluoride for the last 6 years.
What do you use to brush your teeth?
Natural toothpaste without fluoride. There are toothpaste.
What are the other products that are cancer causing?
Another one is aspartame.
Okay.
This is the sweetener, which was, funnily enough, the story of this is that even the American Medical Association didn't want the FDA to make it available. But it just so happened that a very close friend of the president, of Ronald Reagan, who was the head of the company that made it, when he got into power in 1980, they passed in the FDA, although the FDA even banned it already. They were not going to give it permission to be marketed. So now aspartame is here with us. In the Philippines, it's all over the place. Everything that's sugar-free, from your diet drinks to the latest fad. A lot of the companies that sell these milk teas are using aspartame as their sweeteners.
So what your real advice is stay away from any and all artificial sweeteners.
The artificial sweeteners, natural sweeteners that are available right now.
Yeah.
You have the coconut sugar, which is very low glycemic. You have stevia, which is comes from leaves and all that. Another thing that's coming soon is, this is nothing against the RH bill, okay? But I'm not batting for the church or anything. But in the RH bill, they'll be giving out oral contraceptives. The World Health Organization has classified oral contraceptives as class 1 carcinogen, especially for women who have not had children. If you're using an oral contraceptive, let's say you're 15, 16 years old, binigay sa'yo, and in 5 years you have not had a child, your chances for breast cancer increase tremendously. See? So
wow.
That's a class 1 carcinogen already, and we want to give it away for free. So that's one reason we don't want, we want that thing reviewed.
Yes.
And then, of course, you're looking at radiation. It's all there, the aspartame and all of that other stuff that's there. Soybeans.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not fermented, a lot of the soybean products affect the thyroid. So a lot of people, if you have thyroid or goiter problems, it might be your diet. It might be in your diet. You're not looking for it, di ba?
Yeah.
They say, anong dahilan? I had a sister who had problems like that. I had friends, and then the common denomination was soybeans products.
No, but interesting what you said about aspartame or aspartame.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people now drink all these drinks, and they think that being sugar-free is a good thing. But because of what you're saying, that this artificial sweetener can actually cause cancer, it's actually better to drink the regular sodas and not the sugar-free sodas or sugar-free ice cream.
Yes, because it's carcinogenic. Now, if you're drinking the regular sugar and you're a person who exercises, if you exercise really well, you take the time, you might be able to balance, get that sugar out of your system. So it's very important that you incorporate an active lifestyle, especially if you're taking a heavy diet filled with sugar.
Yes.
Now, the other things we have look out for are mercury.
Yes.
Mercury in the form of pasta. And another thing that it's just coming out, and very important, is root canals.
Yes.
The root canals, after they do a root canal, the bacteria is there, they seal it, and this bacteria survive without oxygen.
Yeah.
And then turn out to somewhere else get into the bloodstream. That's why there are special dentists right now who, after a root canal, are able to remove the bacteria that's there.
Yes.
So we're living with so many toxins and poisons that that make our life worse.
Yes.
So what we have to do is really keep away from, watch our diets, watch the food that we eat. Make sure there is no, apart from aspartame, high fructose corn syrup. This is a corn byproduct, which practically everything in the American diet has, including steaks, including chicken, because that's what they feed the chicken, the corn that makes the high fructose corn syrup.
I mean, totally, this thing is really all around us. But Hans, we're going to cover this topic. Unfortunately, we run out of time, but we'll cover this topic in the days and weeks to come. It's very important, especially these environmental concerns and factors causing cancer. But before we go, Doc Nora, quickly, can you tell the audience where to find the BioSafe Center for Complementary Medicine?
BioSafe Center for Complementary Medicine is located at 65 Linao, corner Banawe in Quezon City. We're near Siena College and Hotel Sogo.
Telephone numbers?
It's 416-5618 or 411-9168.
Guys, thank you very much for coming on the show. And unfortunately, we ran out of time, but rest assured we'll be covering this, as I told Hans, in the weeks and in the months to come. Thank you very much for coming to the show. Thank you. So guys, I hope you've learned a lot about cancer and alternative remedies. Join us again next week on the show where we talk about what matters to you, because you matter the most. I'll see you next week.